Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video I'm sitting here in my yarn room in the dark because I wanted to show something that I made. I made a hat cover with the Red Heart Super Saver Blacklight yarn, and I do have a little blacklight. See, I'm shining it on my EG logo there that I made in my tapestry. But I have this little blacklight, and I wanted to show. I hope that it comes out really well on this camera. But that blacklight yarn glows under a blacklight. No wonder it's called blacklight, duh. But hopefully it's gonna glow on the camera because it's really cool in person. I mean, look at that. It is so freaking cool. Oh, I cannot believe how it glows like that. I mean, it is so incredibly cool. Let me take it off, show you. So it's a Red Heart Super Saver blacklight, and just shining this black. It's a UV light, but it's from Michaels, and so but it's the same kind of thing as a blacklight, but it makes that blacklight yarn glow really well. Maybe I should put it this way so you can see it. I mean, look how incredible that looks. It's so freaking cool. Like, I wish I was younger and could, you know, go to a rave or something. If I went to some rave with a blacklight now, I'd look like the old dude, like it was trying to cruise people. But this looks so freaking cool. I wish there was some event around here that had a blacklight or something. But I love this. And then what's really cool is that hopefully I can capture this on the camera. I was shining it in here in my yarn room. And then some of my other yarns glow too, like this one right here. This is the I love this yarn, and I think it's called Dark Neons, but it really glows under the black light too. And then there's this one up here. Let me try to get up here. This one here, that one's from Michaels. That's one of those chunky yarns. I think it's the one, I forget the color in it, not Galaxy or Supernova or whatever it is. It's the yarn that kind of reminds you of Beetlejuice colors, but like that bright green. Really glows. And then there's a skein, you can't really see it because it's down here on the bottom, but it's the skein of that limelight. You know, my Hobby Lobby kept getting rid of that limelight. It really glows in that black light too, and some of the whites do. Oh, and see, there's a black light over there. Hopefully you can see it. No, it's off camera. See, there it is. See, there's just like glowing. That's that black light skein over there. But it is just the coolest effect. Before I turn the light back on, I want to show this. If you're wondering what this video is going to be about, I'm going to show the hat in more detail. But I also have this really big haul from Hobby Lobby, and I'll talk about that. But the really cool thing is, because this light makes anything neon glow, it makes the clearance stickers glow really brightly too. Hopefully you can see that, how brightly they glow. Like, I want to take this on the big markdown or whatever. Like, you know, there's sometimes when you go through there in the big clearance at Hobby Lobby, and then you don't see some of the stickers or whatever, like, you know, the ones that are on the bottom shelf or whatever. If I have this with me, I'm not going to take this with me, but you know what I'm saying. It's just the funny idea in my head. That if I took this with me, I'd be able to, like, you know, shine it on the shelves and say, oh no, there's one right there, and oh no, there's 3 down there, and then there's one right there. I would be able to see every single clearance sticker in that aisle where the yarn's going to be. But I just can't believe how that glows too. That's really cool. But nothing can compare to how cool this hat is. I mean, hopefully it's turning out really nice on the camera, but in person, it is like, I mean, it's glowing like, you know, that scene in Avatar when, you know, all the lights are out and everything, and the whole world starts to glow at night. It's kind of like that. It's really freaking cool. But anyway, I'll turn the light back on. Okay, so the light's back on. So this is the little light I'd gotten. I'd gotten in one of those Michaels boxes. You know, when they have those like $10 boxes or whatever. I think it was one of those that it actually did have a skein of yarn in them. Or I'd gotten 2 boxes because that was back when in my store they used to leave the little hole, like the hand hole, open, and so you can kind of get a peek in there and see what's in the box. But nowadays they like cover those holes up so you can't really get a glimpse of what's in there. But I'd gotten 2 of those boxes, like one day and then one another day. But that was a long time ago. But the only reason I got those boxes is because I could see a skein of yarn in them, and I'd shown it in a previous haul. It's a really cool skein of yarn. But in those boxes, there was a lot of interesting stuff or whatever. And I think that was back when I had my first version of my YouTube channel, and I was going to show it in a video, or it might have been the second time. For God's sake, who cares? I was on YouTube at the time, but I wasn't sure if I should, you know, show like a box thing, because I wanted to. I think it was the second time. You're probably thinking, God, who cares? Just get on with the freaking story. But I think it was the second time I was on YouTube, and I was really starting to focus in on the crochet. And I didn't want to, or I wanted to film a video where I was like showing all this stuff in one of those Michaels boxes, because there was a lot of interesting stuff in it. A lot of stuff that I'm probably gonna put with my yard sale stuff. There was a lot of really interesting stuff too, and this was one of the things that was in that box, and so it's just like a UV light. Or I guess you can kind of see it without the light on, but it just looks better with the light off because you can't see my face. No, because you can just see the glowing hat, but it's really freaking cool. Let me see how the sticker looks. Can you see the sticker better? In the viewfinder, it just looks like it's just this bright light on there, but hopefully it's going to come out where you can actually see the sticker. But that little orange sticker really glows under this black light. But I wanted to make another hat cover, and I was just like looking at all my yarn, and I'm trying to pick out like one of the most interesting ones. And so I saw that black light over there, you know, the Red Heart Super Saver black light. And I didn't even realize that it glowed. I just thought, you know, it has all these different colors in it, and it would make a nice hat cover. And so I started to make it. Oh, the only thing is this yarn is thinner. It's a medium 4-way, but it's thinner than the other one. So I had to crochet this 16 rows instead of 15, because the other hat covers 15 was enough. But then when I got to row 15 and finished that one, it was just like one row too short. So this is a thinner yarn than the other yarns that I'm used to working with. So I had to add just one extra row. But then I was thinking, I know I have that black light, or that UV light or whatever, and I was wondering, like, you know, this is called black light. I wonder if it actually glows. And then when I got this was already done, thankfully, and then I got my my little light or whatever, and I shone it on. I just could not or shined it. Shown. Probably thinking, oh God, just get on with the freaking story, dude. But I shoned it or shined it or put the light on it, and then I was shocked at how much it glowed. I mean, it's really cool. And then I was like going through here like some little kid. When you're a little kid and you get like a magnet or something, and you're trying to, you know, see what it sticks to. It was like that. I was like, I had this light, and I was thinking, does any of my other yarn glow? Does anything in here glow? I was like a freaking kid going through here looking, and I was like, that one glows and that one glows, and I'm like, oh God. So now, like, I want to make things that glow. I do have some of that glow in the dark yarn. I don't know if that would or no, I guess it would, because this is like UV light, and that's how it glows. Is that you put it in the light, you know, the sunlight or whatever, and then it kind of charges, and then it'll glow for a few minutes. So I have to try that with this. But anyway, so I made this hat cover and stuff. And then I did get some yarn from Hobby Lobby. I'd gone in there on the shipment day, and or there's a little bit more to the story. I have a long-winded intro before the yarn. And it's going to seem like I'm trying to justify you know, me buying all this yarn, but if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I don't need an excuse to buy all this yarn. And I probably would have bought all of this yarn anyway, you know, without the long-winded story that, you know, explains it, or except for the Crafted Secret Cotton. I did get one of those. But there's a long-winded story that goes along with this that it's going to come off like I'm trying to justify me buying all this yarn. But like you've seen all my videos, and I've said many times, like, you know, it's my money, and I love yarn, and I'm going to buy whatever the hell I want. And I'm never going to be the type of person to come on here and say, oh, hey guys, I have to admit something. I bought a couple skeins of yarn. I know I don't need it, but like I said, nobody really needs yarn. Like, I don't need this yarn. Nobody needs even one skein of yarn. But if you love yarn as much as I do, and it's not like a problem for you, then, you know, just buy the yarn and just like and enjoy it. Like I've said in many of my videos, I buy the yarn and I enjoy it, and I don't care what it makes me look like. And so I did clear the shelf of all of this yarn. But there's like a little bit of a story that goes with it. But like I said in my last video, they were putting a roof on my house, and so it was like day 2, and I wanted to film a quick video or whatever, just to you know, have a video in the timeline. And then they came the 3rd day, and then they finally finished the roof, and it looks so nice, and just a huge relief to have all that done and everything. And so you know, that happened. Or the beginning of the story is our property manager had texted us and said that they were going to be putting on a new roof, and then a couple of days later, all of these shingles arrived, and were put on in our front yard, and so like I was thinking, oh, they're going to be putting on a new roof and stuff, and I should be awake, because like I've said, I stay up all night. That's when I do my work, and that's when I, you know, like edit videos and do all that. I'm a night owl, and then I sleep most of the day, and then I get up and go over to Hobby Lobby. No, but that's my my routine. And so, but because of my schedule, I was wondering, like, should I be awake when they come over to do the roof? It turns out they didn't even like come in the house. They didn't even need to do anything. They just like got up on the roof and then put the roof on. It took a couple days, and because they had to like fix parts with the wood and everything. But I didn't even have to talk to them or anything. We saw them like when we were leaving and going to the store, like coming back, and they were really nice and waved and everything. But I didn't even need to be awake. But when I saw those shingles out there, I wasn't really sure if I should be awake or whatever. And so I lost so much sleep that week when all the shingles were out there and we were waiting for them to put on the new roof. And oh god, I need my I should have made my my cuffs or whatever. If you saw that other video, make my sweat dabbing cuffs. But I lost so much sleep because that week when I was waiting for them to come over to do the roof, because I wasn't sure if I needed to be awake, and so I was getting up earlier than I usually did, just to be awake in case they needed to like knock on the door and like, you know, check something or like what, or have me plug in something or like whatever. I wasn't really sure, and so I was losing all this sleep or whatever. And like it's really hard for me to sleep anyway, just because my mind racing the way it does. That's why my speech is so why it's that why it's what I was about to say, why it's so screwed up. It's because my mind is just like constantly racing or whatever. And like I have all these thoughts all over the place, and you should know by now. I'm not saying anything that you don't already know, but it also affects my sleep. It's really hard for me to sleep, and like for me to sleep like 8 hours is like a really rare thing. For years I have existed on like, you know, 5 maybe 6 hours of sleep, and occasionally I'll get like maybe 7, but it's really rare for me to sleep like a full 8 hours, just because of my mind the way it is, and that's just sustained me for years, just because of how my brain works. But because of that week, I'd lost so much sleep, and so I was exhausted. And then when they finally came, then it sort of became impossible for me to sleep when I normally did, because I mean, number one, I was excited that they were getting the roof taken care of and all that, but I'm also it like all of the noise. Like that's why I wanted to film a quick video the other day when they were here, because I thought I need to film a video because I don't know how long it's going to take for them to do the roof, and I wanted to stay consistent in the timeline, and I knew that I could not film when they were here because it was so incredibly loud. Just all the banging and the scraping, and like they would put those big rolls of like the stuff that they put underneath the shingles, that they had these big rolls, and that you could hear them like slamming on the roof and then like rolling down and stuff. I mean, it sounded like a thunderstorm. It was just like all of this noise, and all the nails and stuff they were putting, like those electric nails, and all the sawing to like replace parts of the wood. And I mean, it was just an incredibly loud. It was a relief to hear all that, but at the same time, it was just incredibly loud. I knew I couldn't film any videos during it. I mean, it's bad enough you can hear the traffic sometimes that goes by, but you know, there's no way I could have filmed anything. And because it was so loud, it was affecting my sleep too, because there's no way I could sleep through that. Or at least I thought I couldn't. And so when they came back for the third day, I was upstairs. I was so exhausted. Like, if you knew how bad my sleep pattern was, I mean, you would be shocked that I actually slept through a lot of that. But the third day they came, I actually slept through a lot of what they were doing. Like, you know, banging and scraping and the nails and pounding and saws and all this stuff. I actually slept through a lot of that. It was shocking. It shocked me too. But at the same time, it was a really bad mistake that I did that, because like I have my phone, my cell phone or whatever, and I usually have the ringer down, like when I sleep or whatever, because the person who had my number before, it's been such a hassle with that damn phone. I hate even having a cell phone, but I need it for YouTube and all that, and it's nice being able to talk to my mom and my niece and brother and sister-in-law and all that kind of stuff, have a way to talk to them and stuff. But it's just been a freaking, I'm pissed off. No, it's been a freaking hassle even having that damn cell phone, because like I went 40 years without having one, and now I have to have a cell phone. But like the person that had my number must have been just total trash. I'll get like voicemails, like I got a voice message once, or a voice message. I got one of them messages with a voice. I got a voicemail once, and this person was on there. I couldn't even tell if it was a man or a woman or anything. It was like, call me back, damn it. And then that click, like what are you supposed to do with that kind of stuff? Like I can't like call them back and say, hey, this is EG. I'm calling to return a message. You have the wrong number. Don't call this number again. Like, because I get crap like that all the time on my phone, I usually have my ringer down. And but this day I had my ringer down, and so my mom had gone to work. And so because she knew like how bad my sleep is or whatever, and that she just assumed that there was no way I would ever be able to sleep through all that mess, because I couldn't sleep through it the first 2 days they were over here, you know, making all the noise putting on the roof. she just assumed that there was no way I was asleep, you know, that third day when they came over here. And so because I was so incredibly exhausted from all the sleep I lost, I actually slept through a lot of it. I mean, for a couple hours or whatever. But during those couple hours, my mom had texted me, you know, just asking how it was going and were they done with the roof and all that kind of stuff. And then she texted me again, and I didn't respond because I was freaking asleep, and I turned my ringer off. And so, but anyway, she had texted, and so when I finally woke up, I checked my phone, and not only had she texted twice, but she had left 4 voicemails. And if you're anything like us, I know this is a long-winded intro, but it's, you know, it's kind of important to the story. It's important for me to, you know, tell the story. If you're anything like us, like we lost my dad. He had cancer. He had died 8.5 months after finding out he had cancer. It's just this really long battle with it, and it's just like this, you know, horrible thing that happened. And then my sister died. It was just like this kind of random thing. She had pneumonia. Like, it's not like she was in the hospital and she knew that she had it. She was sick. She thought she just had a cold, and then she died in her sleep. And it turned out they did the autopsy, and it was pneumonia of all things. And this was like years before COVID. It's not like, oh, did she have like COVID or no? It was like, it was years before. She just had like a random bout of pneumonia, and she was 29 years old. And so and like that happened, and then we've lost my aunt and my uncle, and like all of my grandparents. And so, like, if you're anybody that's like us, that have lost people, and like that many people in your life or whatever, like a phone call, like one phone call or one random voice message is like panic inducing, right? And so for me to wake up and see like 2 texts and 4 voicemails from my mom, like I was thinking, oh God, what's going on? Like it's sort of ingrained in us, and almost like I mean, I'm not trying to minimize like, you know, PTSD, but like it's sort of ingrained in us in like this physical way, like this PTSD or like this acquired instinct or whatever. That like if we get a phone call, it's like, what's going on? Like for years, I mean, my brother still kind of does this, but like when my mom calls my brother, he'll say, oh, what's going on? What's wrong? It's like this. It's instinct in us because of like, you know, everything that's happened in our lives. And so, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever be able to shake it just because of like all the stuff that we've gone through. And so I hate that that's how we live, and how if we just get like a random text or a random call or like, and we can't get a hold of somebody, it's like, what's wrong? Something's wrong. It's just because of like everything we've gone through. And so I guess because my mom had texted me and she just assumed that there was no freaking way I would have been able to sleep through all that noise, she just thought that something was wrong. She didn't know what, I don't know, I don't even want to ask like what she thought was wrong, but she thought that something was wrong. And so she, because I didn't text her back, and then when she started to call me, and like called me like 4 different times and I didn't answer the phone, she just thought, you know, something must be wrong because there's no way he could be sleeping through all of that. But I mean, that's how exhausted I was. I was sleeping through all of it. I mean, if I had my phone up, I probably would have slept through the noise of that ringing or whatever, just because of how exhausted I was. And so, like, when I woke up and I saw that, I thought, oh my God, what's going on? And then I heard her messages, and I thought, like, oh crap. I felt like shit. I mean, I really did. I felt so bad that I did that to my mom. And so I finally called her back, and I'm like, I was like trembling, I was shaking, because I was like, God, she is scared to death. And so and then some of the voice messages she left, what she was doing was she was trying to get a hold of me, and then what she was going to do was she was going to come home and check on me. And she got my brother involved. She called my brother, and my brother was like, don't go by yourself. Like he was going to leave where he works and come with her to like check on me, because he didn't want her to be alone, you know, if she stumbled into something, or like and then my mom had to call like one of her co-workers to come in, because and her co-worker was on the way in. Luckily she didn't have to go all the way in. I you know, got a hold of my mom before, but all these people were like, you know, worried and stuff, and like all it was is I was asleep, and I felt so bad. I really did. But I was trembling or whatever. I was like freaking out, and because I knew that my mom was like scared to death, and I know that what we've been through in our lives and stuff, and God knows what she was thinking in her head, like what you know, what could have happened. And then I finally got a hold of her, and like I could tell in her voice she was scared, and I mean she was relieved and everything, but I could tell that she was kind of shaky or whatever, and she was trying to play it off like, oh no, we were just, you know, kind of concerned, and like I could tell that she was just scared to death. And like to get my brother involved and actually call in somebody, she was going to leave work and all this stuff just to check on me. And it was just like the worst way to wake up or whatever. Just because of like what we've been through in our lives and stuff, and I can imagine, because I've gone through those thoughts before, like, if I can't get a hold of somebody, or I get a random phone call, it's panic inducing. It's like this instinct. You wake up and like that if somebody calls and you're not expecting it, it might be bad news. It's like our brains automatically assume that it's something bad, and then you have to kind of shake it and say, not everything is going to be bad. It's just like this instinct, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to shake it. But it was just like the worst. Like it was a big day that we finally got a new roof on our house and stuff, and it was like this big relief and everything. But the day started off so bad with all of that stuff, and my mom, it was fine, and my brother was fine and everything, and I was telling her, should I like text your coworker and my brother and say that I'm sorry, or like I didn't know what to do. And then she said, well, no, you don't have to say that you're sorry or whatever. This should make you feel good that they were actually so concerned about you and me, that that they were gonna be they were gonna leave work and like come home with me, or like fill in for me at work and all that kind of stuff. This isn't something that you should apologize for. You were just sleeping or whatever, and it should make you feel good that they were actually concerned and everything, and that they cared enough about you and me to want to help out just in case anything had happened or whatever. But I still felt like crap, just for putting everybody through all that. But I mean, I was, that's how exhausted I was. But I felt really bad, and so that's like sort of the intro of this video. And knowing that I went to Hobby Lobby and got all this yarn, it's going to explain why I felt compelled to get every single skein. Of course, like I've said, like I said at the beginning of the video, I didn't need that reason to buy all this yarn. Like I've gotten bigger hauls than this before, and just like cleared the shelves, and I didn't give a crap about anything. I wanted to get all the yarn, and so I just got it. And I thought, I don't care how it makes me look. If it makes me look like a prick, whatever. I love yarn so much, and it's fun as hell, and so I'm just going to get it, and it's my money. I'll get whatever I want. But I wanted to say that little intro or whatever, even though it sounds like I'm trying to justify it, when I probably would have bought most of this yarn anyway. But I wanted to kind of explain like what my mentality was when I walked into Hobby Lobby. This was like the day all of this happened or whatever, and we were trying to act like okay, everything's fine, and so it's a relief. But we were all kind of traumatized from my freaking sleeping. That's what it felt like. I felt like I traumatized everybody just from my sleeping ass. And then I sort of felt bad, like, if I was on a regular schedule, if I was a normal person and slept normally or whatever, I wouldn't have put everybody through that. But I sort of felt like all of that was my fault. And so, and that I had traumatized everybody. But anyway, so when I went to Hobby Lobby, it was the shipment day, and I was like, I walked in there, and the remnants, like the whole shelf there was full of yarn, and like I didn't expect it to be like that full. And it turns out there's 43 skeins, and I know that because I know the exact number that is 43 because that's the number on the bottom of my receipt, because I bought every single one of them. And yes, there are duplicates in here, but I thought like. See, what I was thinking was, I went in there, and like my mom was with me, of course, and so she was waiting in the car, and so I was looking at all this yarn, and I was actually considering, like, there's like 2 of these, and there's like 2 of these, and like I don't really need every single one of these, and I'm already starting to think ahead of like, when the yarn clearance, my clearance yarn hunt saga or whatever slows down, and I hopefully I'll get the big clearance or whatever, and then from that point on, I'll find random skeins every once in a while, but I'm not going to seek it out all the time, because I do have a lot of yarn. But at the same time, like all of my yarn in here is just nicely organized on these shelves, and then I have like a half a bed of hauls. It's not like the yarn is taking over my house. It's not like this big messy hoarder situation and that kind of stuff. It's manageable at this point, and so it's still fun. I know I can still have fun getting the yarn, and it's not going to become like a space issue where I have to climb over bags and stuff. And then you're turning on A&E, and then all of a sudden you hear next on hoarders, and then there's my big ass on the screen, and I'm like making excuses on there, like I only have 3 of these, and what if I need this color for a blanket? You know what I'm saying? So when I was in there and I saw all this yarn, and I was actually considering like just leaving a couple, at least the Crafted Secret Cotton, and then there were some doubles of just like some solids, and I was thinking maybe I should leave some of the doubles. I was thinking about my mom out in the car, and I thought, like, I love that moment when I walk out of the store and my mom's with me and she's in the car, and I walk out with these big bags of yarn. Like, she just freaks out and she gets so freaking excited. Like, she glows like my freaking my hat does. I mean, just like her face, she gets so excited. And because of all that crap that happened, I wanted to see my mom react like that again. I wanted to, like, you know, make her so excited that she just freaks out in the car or whatever. I wanted to make up in some way for all that crap that happened earlier. And so when I was looking at all this yarn, I was thinking, like, yes, I don't need all of this yarn, and I could leave a couple of these skeins, but I thought, no, I'm gonna get every single one of them, because, like, it's gonna be like all these bags in my hand, and I can make my mom really excited, because I knew, like, how many bags it would take to hold all this yarn or whatever. And so, and then I would get to, like, walk out of the store, and she would see me holding all these bags and just, like, freak out in the car. And like, so of course I didn't need all this yarn. I didn't need any of this yarn, but I wanted all this yarn. Yes, I wanted it for me too. I'm not saying that, you know, that's the only reason I got all this yarn, and I'm making an excuse for it. Like, I would probably get most of this yarn anyway, but that, I wanted it for that moment alone, like, just to see the look on her face and see her freaking out in the car. And sometimes she gets so excited, I can actually hear her through the window or whatever. She's like, like, she gets so excited for me when I get all this yarn and stuff. And we have so much fun going through it when I get home, and it's just incredibly fun and exhilarating to see her get so excited. And so I thought, I don't care. I'm getting every single skein, even that Crafted Secret cotton, because I want the bags to be as big as possible so I can walk out there and just, like, excite the hell out of her. And I did, and I went through the line and got the yarn or whatever, and she got so thrilled. I mean, it was worth every single penny, and all the space that these 4 bags take up, like, I don't care. It was worth every single bit of it. But when I first went into Hobby Lobby, I actually did go in twice this day, even though I wanted to stop going in there, like, multiple times. But when I went in there, I noticed that they were done putting the yarn on the shelves, and there was a cart with some yarn there, and so I knew that she was about to clearance it, but she was still like gathering up all the plastic bags and all the boxes and stuff, and so it would be a little while. But I knew that it wouldn't be very long, and so that I thought I'll at least, you know, pop back in one more time, because I knew that there was going to be a little bit of yarn. I couldn't see, like, just how much was in that cart, but I saw that there was a little bit of yarn in the cart. And so I left, and we need to get some gas in the car. And so there was this gas station kind of near my Hobby Lobby that we've never gone to before, and I noticed that the gas was kind of cheap, because or like cheaper. It's still expensive as hell, but it was kind of cheaper than where we normally get the gas. And so I thought, well, maybe we could just, like, pull in there and get some gas, and then we'll go back to Hobby Lobby. And it was a nightmare because the gas was, like, the cheapest there was in town or something, because it was packed as hell. It was so full of people, it was just ridiculous. So we were just, like, waiting to go through there to get some gas or whatever. And I mean, it literally took like 20 minutes to go through there just to get some gas, because of all the cars that were there, and it's just cluster. I'm like getting really comfortable today. No, it's because I'm so traumatized that, like, I'm like a soldier coming back from war, just dropping all kinds of profanities. But no, but it was a cluster, you know what, in that parking lot, and just like all these people and stuff. I guess because they were desperate to get the cheap gas or whatever. But luckily, it took so long. It was frustrating as hell going through there and stuff. But luckily, it took so long because by the time I made it back to Hobby Lobby, she had clearanced all the yarn and put it in the remnants and everything. And so it turned out to be a blessing in disguise or whatever, because if I would have gone to get gas and it only would have taken like 5 minutes and would have gone back, she might not have had all the yarn done yet. And so anyways, I gone in there the second time, and because I had so much yarn, I got to talk to the girl at the register more than I usually do, and she was really friendly and stuff. She was one of the ones that has said to me, like, she's seen me going through there with yarn before. Like, it wasn't a shock to her that I wheeled a big cart full of all this yarn up there, because she's seen me before. It's a wonder she didn't look at all this and say, oh, is that all you're getting? Because like, she's seen, like, big carts full going through her line. And so she said, well, you cleared us out again, huh? But because I was there longer than I normally am, she said, so what do you do with all this yarn? And we had this really nice conversation, and she was asking me what I made, and I was just telling her some of the more ridiculous things I've crocheted and stuff. And she said that she used to crochet, but she can't anymore because of her hands and stuff. And I felt really bad for her, because I'm like, wanting to crochet or wanting to do anything creative, and you're not having, like, the physical ability to, that must be really hard. And then here I am, like, rubbing it in her face, like, going through her line all the time with all this freaking yarn. No, she's really nice. I'm just being a prick. God. what is with me today, God? But she was perfectly nice, you know, running all this through, like she always does. But anyway, let me finally get to the haul. So like I said, it's 43 skeins. And the skeins that were on the cutting table, if you saw my last video, and I was in there and I got those 4 skeins and the remnants, and there were a couple skeins on the cutting table. I think every single one of them is in this haul. So they must have just saved it for the shipment day. So this is that blue one I was talking about. See the big blue one? And so I'm going to use this for my niece's rug. So it's the Eternal Bliss in the color navy. I don't know, they didn't write everything on it. Sometimes they write it on a label because it didn't have a label on it. So they just write down the generic name, and they actually wrote down the colorway name. Sometimes they don't even do that. But then this was regular $7.99, got it for $1.99. So there was that one. And so that's going to go in my niece's rug. And see, I have to get those rugs done because these are obnoxious skeins. Luckily, when I sorted my yarn in my, let's say yarn room, funnily enough, like as if this video isn't long enough, when I was sitting in my niece's playroom where I have the yarn stacked up on that on her bed in there, I was kind of thinking like, God, this room is like much bigger than my yarn room. Like it almost felt like, and I keep making that mistake, almost like calling my niece's playroom my yarn room. I mean, yes, my niece's playroom is a lot bigger, and like I said in my other video, she's not really at that age anymore where she plays, and like she hardly comes over here anymore because you know she's getting older and she's going to friends' houses and playing with her friends and on her iPhone and iPad and all that kind of stuff. She's not really, she comes over here every once in a while, but like she's not the kind of kid to come over here. Like I don't need to watch her like in a babysitting kind of way and like play with her with the toys and read her stories. She's not like a little kid, so she doesn't really need like a playroom. But that is her room, and she loves that she has a room over here that whenever she comes over, that it's like her room. This isn't just our house, like she's a part of this house too because of like her growing up here for so many years and stuff, and I'd watch her all the time, and so I love that she has her own space here, and it can kind of feel like this is her home too, because it kind of was during the day when I would watch her all those times, and then when I would watch her after school and everything. And so I mean, but it is weird that like that room is a lot bigger than this room, and I have so much yarn. I very easily could turn her playroom into a bigger yarn room. But at the same time, I don't want to take away her playroom or like her room. It's not really a playroom, but I don't want to take away her room and like sort of move it in here. And also, I love that this room is here because it's kind of like in the family area and like in the walkway from like the back door to the living room, and it's kind of like in the perfect spot here where you have to walk through this room every single time you come into the house. And so I love that because like my niece's playroom is like sort of off to the side. It's not really a room in like the walk area. You have to like go into it to even be in there. And so I love that all of my yarn is in here, even though this room is smaller than that one. I love that it's all in here, and like all of the color and like my yarn delier and like all the things that I've crocheted, and like my the rack over there with my blankets on it and stuff, and all the stuff that I crocheted for my niece and I have it like on her in front of her tower, and all the little knickknacks. I love that all of this is in here, and that we have to walk through this and we get to see it every single day. And so yes, we could walk in there and see her playroom if it became my yarn room every single day. But like I love that you naturally walk through here and you get to see this colorful, amazing room and all the yarn and all the color and creativity and stuff every single day. And so like that's why I feel like I want to keep my yarn room in here, even though I do have a lot of yarn to put away. I would rather like find a place in this room than to take away her playroom and stuff. But also just to keep this room that you have to walk through be my yarn room, just because it's so much fun. Even just sitting in here and looking, I've felt really ridiculous like sitting on that stool in here and just like staring at my yarn, just like getting all inspired and trying to think of ideas of like what to crochet. I've caught myself sitting in here like a ridiculous idiot, sitting in here like literally for like 10 minutes, like just kind of staring at the yarn and some of the knickknacks and just kind of thinking. And I was thinking, God, how long have I been sitting in here? Like it's been like that. There's just something about this room that just kind of draws you in and draws your eye to everything in it. And it's just it's something interesting in every single place that you look. And so that's why I want to keep my yarn in here, even though I know I would have so much more room in her playroom. But at the same time, I want to I want her to feel like there's a room in here for her. Like, you know, so it's not just our house, it's her house too. Even though she doesn't live here, but you know, I want her to feel like, you know, this is her house too. But anyway, let me get back to the yarn. But that's why I want to get her rugs done or whatever, just to get them done for one thing, but also to use up all this big thick yarn, because I do have a lot of this yarn for her, for the rugs and stuff, and that's, you know, taking up space that could be utilized better by all these other skeins. But so there was that one. Got 1 of 43, and then this is one of the other ones that was on the cutting table. I love this yarn, and then the color, because they had one that had the actual label on it. It's the color, I think it's tropical pink. Yeah, tropical pink. So it is like that kind of pink color, like I've said, that, you know, it reminds you of the kind of pink color you'd see in the islands or whatever. Not that I've ever been to the islands, but it does kind of remind you of that. And so these were all regular $4.99. Got them for $1.24. All these, I love this yarn. And so there was 2 of those. And so, like, yeah, I could have taken one. I probably would have taken this because it has a label on it. But no, I could have taken one and left one. And there's a couple other ones. There's this bird song here that there's 2 of those. There's a couple solids that are 2 of. But I thought, like, I want those damn bags to be as big as possible, so I just grabbed all of it. I probably would have grabbed all of it anyway, but you know what I'm saying. See how I repeat myself? God. You're the ones who should be cussing. Oh, I didn't even show you like what the bags look like. But she put the yarn in 2 big bags and then 2 little bags. So I got to walk out of Hobby Lobby like carrying all of this yarn and, like, you know, split between all these bags and like this. And my mom was just so freaking excited, and I was too. So it was so worth it. But anyway, let me get back to the yarn. And so they had 2 of these donut balls, the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK, and the color Ox Blood. I don't even need to look at the label. These were regular $4.99. Got them for $1.24. This is my favorite one. I love the tealish green kind of color. Something Pretty and Peacock, I think that's what it's called. I'm starting to memorize the freaking colorways because I'm getting so much yarn. But this is my favorite one. I love this red. I do love red colors just because of how obsessed I was with the rubies. How obsessed I am with the ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz since childhood. Speaking of that, I have an idea, a crochet related thing that has to do with the Wizard of Oz. Hopefully I'll get that done. It's gonna be freaking ridiculous. But anyway, I've loved the ruby slippers since I was a kid. And so I do love reds. Of course, this is darker. This is kind of like these burgundy reds and stuff, but I do love red colors too. But these DK balls have so many different colors in it. They're just gorgeous. I've talked about it before, and I love when there's a little bit of a blackness in it too, because it adds some shadow into it. So I got 2 of those donut balls. And here's this Crafted Secret cotton. Here's this Crafted Secret. That's what I want to do to my phone every time I get a freaking voice message from somebody. But like I've said, their Crafted Secret cottons are gorgeous. I mean, the colorways are really pretty. It's kind of frustrating for me to work with. But I'm going to get over my aversion to this, damn it. And if I don't, I'll just sell it at my yard sale or something. But still, I want to try to work through the Crafted Secret cotton that I have and at least make something with it. No matter how frustrating it's going to be. Like, even at the very end of it. See how it's just, you can see exactly how it's split into the different strands and stuff. It does that when I'm working with it, but I don't know. This is the colorway Auburn Clay, AUBURN. And so it has all these oranges and different colors of like green and teal and yellow in it too. Like a little streakiness, but it's mainly like an orange colorway. So that was regular $2.99, got it for 74 cents. And then they had a couple skeins of the Sport Weight. Yeah, they had 3. I love this yarn, Sport Weight, and they were all $2.49. Got them for 62 cents a piece. No, these 2 were $2.49. Got them for 62 cents a piece. This is a white color, so it's just called white, Sport Weight, and then this is a red called Cranberry, nice deep red, and then this pink, which is regular $2.99. Got it for 74 cents. But even that, I mean, like 62 cents. That's less than half the price of one of those dinky little skeins from Dollar Tree that are like $1.25 or whatever. Like 62 cents for this. I know it's Sport Weight or whatever, which is like a light 3? Yeah, light 3. But it's still 62 cents for this. It's insane. But this one was 74 cents. This is the color Hot Rose. Really pretty pink color. And so those are the Sport Weights. There might be others in here. I'm not really sure. Since I was in this bag anyway, I saw that this is that cotton. I think this is the cotton that was on the cutting table. And this is the color Brights, like all these bright primary colors. And so this was regular $4.49, got it for $1.12. I do need to check the prices of these cottons because some of them were clearanced to 99 cents in the past. And so I'm not really sure about all of these. No, these were all $1.12. And then 2 in the color Dove, although it's kind of like a gray color. And I had to insert this because I missed the 20-minute mark because I was talking so freaking much. I wasn't noticing the camera. It's more like a silver gray though, really pretty silver gray. And then the color amethyst, really nice purple color. And then this red, which is called red, or nice red color. And so all those were $1.12 a piece. There may be some other ones in. See what I'm saying? See, a freaking car goes by, and that's how loud it. I'm like, I missed my table. See, I'm a mess in this video, God. See, a freaking car goes by, and you can hear how loud that is, and that's like on the freaking road. Imagine like noise on my roof, how it would come off in the video. So those are the cottons. There may be some others in here, I'm not really sure. Oh, and they had one of these, like, you know, little tiny skeins and mini makers. Yarn Bee mini maker in the color purple. Regular $1.29. Ridiculous. Got it for 32 cents. Just a tiny little skein. All of these I'll probably put on my niece as well. I do have a lot of those little skeins in a drawer up there. Now I still need to put those, like when I reorganize my yarn room, I need to put up those nice drawers that I got at Michael's. But that's probably what I'll put those little skeins, if not somewhere else. But that was 32 cents. Of course, I didn't need that. Like I've said, these little mini makers, they're nice, but it does feel like really cheap yarn. But you know, 32 cents, I'm gonna go ahead and get it for my niece and put it on her wall. And then there's two of these Yarn Bee Yarntopias. Regular $4.49, got them for $1.12 each. It's weird that these are the same price as the cotton, because this feels like, compared to the I Love This Cotton, which is nice, compared to that, this always felt like luxury yarn to me. I don't know why, but it's a fine too, and it's really soft and really shiny and stuff, but I've never worked with it yet. I'm as much as Yarntopia as I've gotten, I've never worked with it yet, just because I'm a little reluctant to use like a really thin yarn, but I've used thin yarn before and it actually turned out really nice, but this is really nice yarn. So this is the color Scarlet. So this is the color. Okay. I'm laughing because I keep trying to say it, but I'm saying it so fast, and it's almost sounding like a bee. Like there's a fly flying around my freaking house, and or there's a couple of them because you know the heat and everything. And I was gonna what I was thinking of was like if I start stumbling on my words and like that, I thought I could just blame it on the fly like flying around the camera or whatever. It's not because I'm like screwing up my words. It's because of the freaking fly making that buzzing noise. No, but this is the color. Not this is the color. This is the color Scarlet. So like this red color, kind of a pinkish red. And this one's called Cerulean Sea. Kind of a stone blue color. It's really pretty. And see how shiny it is, and it's really soft. $1.12 for that one too. And then a Baby Bee Sweet Delight Prince in the color Bubble Gum. It has all these pink colors and a little streaky and a little striped. And the base of it is a really light pink. It's not, in the viewfinder, it kind of looks like an ivory color, but it is a very light pink color. It has all these streaks of different shades of pink. This is regular $6.49, got it for $1.62. I think there's a couple other baby yarns in here. So another Baby Bee Sweet Delight in the color Ballet Slipper. Although this shade is a little more purple than some of the ballet kind of ballet slipper colors I've seen before, where it's a little bit of a tannish pink. This is more of like a purpley pink though. This is regular $5.99, got it for $1.49. So there's one of those. Is that really thin baby yarn? Really nice and soft though. And then a Baby Bee Sweet Delight in the color Chocolate, so like a chocolate brown. And then I love this yarn Neon. Oh wait, where's that thing? No, like every freaking neon skein I find or whatever, I'm gonna like be shining this light on. I'm gonna need to get batteries for this freaking thing. It does kind of glow. Just the neon pink in this. Really cool. Even the label kind of glows a little bit too, especially with that orange clearance sticker on it. But anyway, so that's the neon. So it's neon pink, I think, or pink neon, whatever. Regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then I love this yarn. It's a solid called Soft Blue. So it's a soft blue. Like I've said in my last video, I've gotten a lot of those stone wash blues. This is more of like a baby blue, like a lighter baby blue. And then I love this yarn in the color Sea Blue. Really nice, kind of a greenish blue. That one, and then this one is Glacier. I do love these like icy pastel colors, like an icy green color. Really nice. I love that Glacier. This is Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, low pill fiber, and it's like a brown color. The color, or no, plum. See, this is so purple, it's brown. There are some shades of, I think a lot of them have the word plum in them. There's a lot of plum colors in yarn that are so purple that they kind of look brown. I mean, even in the camera that looks kind of brown. I mean, in person, it is kind of like a purpley brown, but it would be very hard to use this as a purple because this is definitely like a brownish purple. That was regular $4.99, got it for $1.24, and then they had two of these. Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Loco Fiber. And these are the color navy. This gorgeous deep dark navy blue. I love this. And these two are even softer than this brown, I mean the purple, plum color or whatever. But these are like extra soft, and so these are really nice. I do love this soft and sleek. These aren't just like the regular, they're not the chunky. And then Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth, like that kind of plush yarn, in the color silver. And I think there's another one in here somewhere. Yeah, there's two of those. So like I said, I could have left one of these, but you know, I'd rather see my mom get really excited in the car. The color silver, so it's like a silvery gray. These are regular $5.49. No wait, God. Regular $5.49, got it for $1.37. Regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. So if I would have actually left some of this, instead of, you know, taking it all like some gluttonous, see, and I was about to say the A word, with a hole on the end. God, what's wrong with me today? But if I would have actually taken the time to go through these, I would have known that these were different prices. And if I would have left one and only taken one, I would have taken the $1.24 one, of course, and I would have left this $1.37 for somebody else. But I just grabbed them both. This one right here, this $1.37, is a little bit lighter than this one, so they're obviously different dye lots. This is more of like they're not like, it's not darker brown. Of course it's not, because it's freaking silver, idiot. But it isn't like a dark gray, but it's darker than this one. This one is a little bit more silver. This one is just kind of like a gray color. This should be called, there's a couple colorways that are called elephant. This should be called elephant. It's kind of like an elephant gray, and this is more of like a silvery gray, but whatever. And then there's one of these Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth Aran in the color aubergine, that kind of burgundy-ish, almost purpley burgundy-ish color. Regular $5.49, got it for $1.37. And then this one, I do love this. Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth in the color Counting Cloud. I love the look of this skein. Every single time I've ever gotten one of these, I love the look of this. It's all these different shades of gray in this. This is absolutely gorgeous. They need to have more skein, more of their velvety smooth that look like this, except with different colors. Like, can you imagine this look in like a plush yarn with like you know, like a red color or green or blue, or like, you know, all kinds of other colors? Like, that would be gorgeous. And imagine the scrunchies that you could make with that. But that was regular $5.49, got it for $1.37. And then a fur yarn, a Fur the Moment, I think. Yeah, Yarn Bee Fur the Moment in the color Frosted Mauve. This was regular $6.99, got it for $1.74. So it's that kind of pinkish, it's a really light pink, but kind of a pinkish shade of the fur yarn. And then one of these Yarn Bee Simply Flawless. God, I cannot believe how much I love this yarn, and how I made that little swatch with this Simply Flawless, and how well it turned out, and all the good stitch definition. This is beautiful. This is that color teal. I like it, because I'm not used to using really thin yarns, but I was shocked at how much I loved using this yarn. Regular $6.99, got it for $1.74, but it is really nice yarn. And then a Baby Bee Adorable, it kind of plush yarn too, in the color Light Sage. So a light sage color, really nice. Regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. Kind of stupid. I'm going like, you know, one bag to another. I'll get a couple out of this one, and then I'll go back to this one, and then go back. Oh, I got another one of those navy Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek in the color navy. I got 3 of those. So that's really good. I do love this dark navy blue. Like I said, I love dark colors, and I love, you know, blacks and grays and stuff. But when they take a nice color, because I do love teal blue, when they take a nice color and then they make it a dark shade, I really love that too. Like this dark navy blue. I love these. I love like dark grays. And I've gotten some red colors that, when they're really dark. I do love the dark shades of colors too. Just because I feel like my personality is very dark. You know, me sitting in front of all this color and getting all excited over a freaking yarn like an idiot. But whatever. And then I love this yarn. It's a solid in the color Ocean. So like, see the difference? Like, this is sort of a greenish blue. This is that sea blue. But this is more green. But there is like a hint of a blue shade in it. It's not just like a green color. It does kind of remind you of like the ocean in like the really expensive islands, you know, the like kind of green color in the water. So it kind of reminds you of that I've only seen in pictures, because, you know, I'm too cheap to like fly down to the islands because I have too much yarn to buy. So that's called Ocean. And then I love this yarn print in the color Cobblestone Ivory, which that doesn't sound familiar at all. It's all these different shades of brown and a little bit of olivey brown, maybe, right there, that shade. But all these different creams and browns in it. But that just doesn't sound familiar. Cobblestone. I've gotten a couple that are cobblestone, but not cobblestone ivy. And there's a little bit of a goldish color mixed in it too, but it's a really nice color. really nice kind of neutral earth tone mix of colors. Like this would go really well with a bunch of ivories, and then this would be like the accent. I think that would look really nice. Why am I like, if you saw one of my other videos, why am I like getting into like ivories and really like yellows and like all this stuff? Like, I never thought I would like this kind of stuff, but I am starting to like colors like this too. Like the colors that someone like Martha Stewart would like, you know what I'm saying? It's weird that I would like something like this, but because this is the kind of stuff that I really like, all these vibrant colors and stuff. I love this yarn print and the color, or like I said, a bird song. I do know this colorway. This is really pretty. It's kind of speckled and has all these shades of green and blue and these shades of red in it too, the kind of speckled look. And they had two of those, so I got two of the bird song. And they had this one. I love the yarn print and the color Painted Canyon. Although, like I've said, this just reminds me of like the 1980s. I mean, I know it's like southwestern colors, but it doesn't remind you of like the colors that you would see on like, you know, some loud outfit from like the late 1980s, early 90s. Has some teal and yellow and kind of terracotta orange and a little bit of a darker color in it and some white. That's called Painted Canyon. And then I love this yarn print and the color Drizzle Me This. It's that kind of speckled yarn that my niece used to make her scrunchie a long time ago. And then I used the same colorway. I actually got one because I didn't have one in my stash. And I got one so I could make her a slat bracelet to match. And so the base of it is a light pink, and it has all these different speckles and all these really vibrant pinks and purples and yellow and orange. And it's a really pretty colorway. This is one of those, though, that is extra floppy and shiny or whatever, and a little bit thinner. It's one of those, but most of these are like the regular kinds of yarns, but this is one of those that's kind of like that, like I've talked about in videos. So there's that one, and then this one. This one too feels kind of like that. I love this yarn print and the color Float Along. It has all these different shades of blue and a little bit of gray in it. And so there's that one, and then this one, which I think this is the last one. I kind of chaotically opened all the bags, so I'm not really sure, but I love this yarn print and the color After Dinner Laughs. It's surprising me that I actually like this colorway. This kind of reminds me of like I don't know if this is an actual color category or whatever, because like I think Icy Pastels is a color category, but like if earth tones had an icy version, like icy earth tones. I'm just making up crap at this point, but that's what this kind of reminds me of. Like there's a little bit like if these were just regular colors, it would be like browns and orange and a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow and then like a cream color, but they're in kind of this icy way. And so it kind of reminds you if earth tones had an icy mix, like an icy earth tone. You're probably thinking, God, that's the most ridiculous, stupid thing you've ever said. But doesn't it kind of remind you of that? Like, it reminds you of earth tones, but they're very lightly colored, and so in kind of an icy pastel kind of way, so an icy earth tone. So I might have made up a color category for that. I have no idea, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's really nice. But I think that's the last one. And I'm so glad that I bought every single one of the skeins. Like, I don't care. Because my mom got so excited when I walked out of there with all of this. So that was the haul. But there's a couple other things I was going to talk about, but because this video, I know this video was really long, and that long-winded intro, and me talking about the things that we've gone through in our lives and all that kind of stuff. I know that this video is probably a little longer than I wanted it to be, but so I'll stop there, and then I'll save us a couple of the other things for the next video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.